Okay, so what is a null object? Well, a null object, you may have heard it in programming terms, is basically a object that has no value until you assign something to it. So it has the capability of holding value, but there's nothing there until you tell it what you want it to be. So in After Effects, you can use position or scale or rotation and take those values and then put it into a null object. So it'll probably be best if I just show you. So let's go ahead and click down in our 3D comp. We're going to go up to Layer, New, and then Null Object. And I'm going to put this here on my composition panel and make sure it's a 3D layer. Now that moves it over here. Let me go into my Track Z camera tool, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and we'll move composition over here so you can see. Now, if we, in the past we've used the camera to navigate around the scene and all of that. So let's take our null object, okay, and we're going to drop it underneath our camera. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to parent the camera to this null object, which means anything that this null object does, the camera is now going to do. So we're going to drop this down. We can watch as we move through here whenever these are changing. So I'm going to set some keyframes and we'll watch these. So let me go ahead and select our null camera. I'm going to go to my selection tool and move my null camera. You can see that the position values are all changing. And that's because I've parented the camera to the null, and now all of the changes I'm making, the camera is actually moving. So if I go here and let's say I want to move right here, we're going to set a keyframe. And then if I move forward to about 4 seconds and I move the null object even further, we can see that as I go back to the beginning and play it back, we're actually moving through the scene. Now we can't see, the light isn't moving with us, so let's go ahead and go to our light, and what we're going to do is minimize this. We're going to move our light according to which way our scene is moving. So if we move our timeline this way, we can see that we're moving from left to right. So we want to actually make the light move in a certain direction. So let's go to our light, and we're going to click on this object here and move that back down. That's the back of the light, and we're going to use this. Now we can move this back and forth. So since our scene is moving, let's go back here and see. We've got it moving from left to right. Okay, we're going to move the light from right to left, and we're going to make it visible as it's moving. So we'll go ahead and set a keyframe here for our light. Let me drop this down under transform, and we'll put this under point of interest. And then as we move forward, we're going to move this over to the beginning. So 3D. So now as we play this back, you can see that our light is moving and it's going from right to left to show us the 3D text. Now we could move these around. So let's say we want to bring this keyframe here and this one at the beginning. We could do that so that now as we watch this move, it's moving the same direction. And then we could also move these keyframes around so that the words actually go from the front so that it's revealing 3D in text. So let's see what this looks like. So as we move this around, you can see that it's saying 3D text. So remember to move your work area down to help your rendering, and that'll help it play back a little better. When I get this cached and I can play it back, then you can actually see that it runs smoother. So that's how you can add a null object and use that null object to work your camera, and it works. It works. It's a little hard to get used to, but it works much better. And you don't always have to be in your camera tool trying to move around your scene. You can just track your null and then put your keyframes there.